One of the main things we needed to research and prepare for before our move to Mexico was obtaining Mexican residency. It's important, and there's several ways to go about it. Options include permanent residency, temporary residency, and several others. In our case, Erica was eligible for dual citizenship, Chris applied for temporary residency, and Sherry and I applied for permanent residency. In each case, we started the application process back in the US and completed the process within the required 30 days in Mexico. We were lucky to find a knowledgeable immigration specialist to assist us with that process. Welcome to Expats Like Us, exploring the world of U.S. expat life in Mexico. In each episode, we'll meet new people and hear their personal stories. We'll also learn more about the expat life and get a few tips on everything from making your move to settling in and living your dream. Let's dive in. Today, we're thrilled to be talking with Adriana Vela. Her company, Immigration to Mexico, is located in Playa del Carmen. Adriana recently spoke to Chris and I over Zoom.
First, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where did you grow up and what led you to Playa del Carmen and your role as an immigration specialist?
Okay, well, yes, I was born in Argentina and I lived a part of the time in Buenos Aires, which is the capital. And there I always worked with foreigners, with expats, let's say, especially from people from US and from Canada and from Europe too. And one day I met my husband, who is from US too, from Boston. And after some years, we decided to come to Mexico, to come closer to US, let's say, to
Okay.
US. So, we came first to Mérida, and then we fell in love with Playa del Carmen. And 12 years ago, we moved to Playa.
Okay.
And, here I started working for a Canadian and Mexican law firm, and some people know me from there. And later, I became independent. Okay. So, I started working in immigration here.
Okay. How long have you been independent on your own?
Around 8 years.
Okay.
Now, yes. Time passes fast.
Yeah.
And as an immigration specialist, what is your role and how do you assist people seeking residency in Mexico?
Well, what I do is to help people who want to do to get their residency here. For example, sometimes I help them, giving them coaching since, when they are outside Mexico, when they are in US or in Canada, I tell them what to do, but we don't help with the appointments at the consulates. Because as you must know, the process starts out of Mexico, outside of Mexico.
Right.
It starts in the place where you live in general. And we coach them and tell them, for example, give them tips about what to do and which consulate to go to, maybe which is the easiest or the lowest, with lowest requirements, etc. And then once they come here with their visas, we help them along their process in Playa del Carmen, or it can be in Mérida or in Mexico City, or in San Miguel de Allende too. So we have different locations.
Now, if somebody finds themselves already in Mexico, is it possible to get residency here if you haven't started in your home country at the consulate?
Well, you need to fulfill some requirements. For example, one could be to have a Mexican wife or husband, or Mexican parents, or a Mexican son or daughter. Another way is if you, for example, the person traveled to Mexico between 2015 and the end of 2022, and they have an expired tourist visa, you call it, but it's called FMM, o sea, an expired stay here, they can apply for 4 years of residency. This is a program that appeared during COVID because there were so many people illegal here that they gave them the possibility to be legal in an easy way. Because in this way, they don't have to show any finances. And, well, they will have 4 years together, and then they can get permanent residency.
Oh, okay. That's kind of a loophole around the system, isn't it? And that's still going on, but that's a product of
It's going
COVID.
on, yes. And it happened some years before too. I remember that it happened around 7 years ago, but it lasted maybe 1 year or 2 years.
Okay.
And then after COVID, they did it again, and it goes on.
Okay.
I don't know. Nobody knows until when. But so far, so good.
How do your clients typically find out about your service? And do they connect with you before starting their process in their home country or once they arrive in Mexico?
Well, sometimes I have a website, and well, some people find us when they are in their own countries, because some people say that they are searching in Google and they find my website. So they contact me. Or some others, well, it's from word to mouth, or on Facebook, in social media, or in Instagram. So some people find me when they are in their own countries, and some others when they move here.
Okay. So sometimes when I say that I have permanent residency, people that don't know assume that I'm a Mexican citizen now, but I'm not. Can you explain the difference between residency and citizenship?
Yes, residency is that you can live here without renewing your stay, let's say. You can live legally. And citizenship, to be a citizen, you need 5 years of legal residency.
Okay.
And to be in the last 2 years before getting the citizenship, you should be in Mexico most of the time. So those are the main requirements to be a citizen. And the citizen will have a Mexican passport. The resident won't, because the resident will keep their own nationality. Citizens too, they can have 2 or 3 nationalities. But citizens will have a Mexican nationality, let's say, a Mexican passport.
Okay.
So when they come to Mexico, they are Mexicans. And when they are in their country, another country, they belong to the other country, but not to Mexico. But
Okay.
when they are here, they have to use the Mexican passport.
Okay. So a citizen can also vote in this country, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes, they can vote, and they can have own land in restricted areas.
Okay.
That is important. If you want to buy a property here, it's important in this area, which is 330 miles from the coast, let's say, you need to be a citizen, or to get it through, as you must know, fideicomiso, which is a trust, or a company.
Okay. I hadn't thought about that as being a benefit of being a citizen, is you don't have to do the fideicomiso. Yeah.
Yes, I would like to be a citizen. I think that this year I'm going to be. After the end of the year, the middle of the year, I will try to do it.
Okay.
And
it's an advantage.
let's say Bob or I wanted to become citizens after our residency, we have temporary, permanent. What would we have to do to extend that to become a citizen?
Well, for example, you, as your wife is Mexican, right?
Correct.
Okay, so you can do it after 2 years of residency. After 2 years of temporary residency, you can be a citizen.
And what would I have to do? I have to take a test, or is there a process? Or?
Well, if you are over 60 years old, you don't have to take any test. If you are under 60, well, yes, you should learn Spanish. Can you speak Spanish?
Yeah.
Okay, well, yes, the exam is not very easy.
Yeah.
It's a bit difficult because you have to read a lot about history, about culture of Mexico. They give you a lot of books and you have to study.
Okay. Or maybe I'll wait till I'm 60.
No, maybe no, you can wait until you are 60 to do it. And so you will not have to sit for the test.
Okay.
It's kind of similar to in the US. If you're trying to become a citizen in the US, you have to know a lot of answers to a lot of history questions. And it's, and people who are born in the US might not know the answers to those
No, the
questions.
same here. Because here, sometimes they ask some strange questions, for example, about recipes for food, which are the ingredients of mole, for example, or I don't know, many things which not all the people know, apart from history, etc.
Right.
It's not very easy.
Okay. So what are the different types of residency that are available, and why would someone choose one over the other?
Well, the different types, well, the most important are a temporary residency and permanent residency, that before they were called FM2 and FM3. Some people still call them in that way, but this is not used anymore. Those names are not used anymore. Now they are temporary residency and permanent residency. And then you can have unity family, for example, residency, which others? Many others. But in this moment, I don't remember very well.
So if I'm a temporary resident, how is that different from me being a permanent resident? I mean, obviously I have to go and re-up that or resubmit or
no, if
continue
you are
that
a
somehow.
temporary resident, well, after 4 years, you have to do another process and get permanent residency.
Okay.
Yes, or you can be a permanent resident directly.
Mm-hmm.
For example, you can get a permanent residency in the consulate outside of Mexico if you show enough financial resources. You can get permanent residency directly, and this is much easier and cheaper for you because you have to do only one process.
Mm-hmm.
With temporary, you will have to renew once and then to get permanent. So you will have to do 3 procedures. With permanent, only 1.
So my wife and I got permanent because we could, but I understand that the financial requirements have changed. And
Well,
they've gone up quite a bit. Is that true?
Every year they change because they are linked to the minimum salary in Mexico. So the minimum salary goes up every year. So the financial requirements are linked to this income, to this, salary, to the salary. So they also increment every year. So every year it will be more difficult to get a residency here.
And do you know what the financial requirements are for 2024?
Yes, I have some consulates which are the lowest. Okay. I prepared, which is, for example, Phoenix. It has a proof of monthly income of $2,530. It's in Phoenix. In Raleigh, it is $3,100. And in McAllen, $3,458.
Okay.
The income. But if you want to show your savings or, your investments, it is $42,000 or $51,000 or $57,000. in the 3 different consulates.
You just have to show that amount of money in your bank for a year.
For a year, for 12 months. Yes, and if you want to get permanent residency in Phoenix, the income, the pension has to be minimum 4,200, in Raleigh 5,100, and in McAllen 5,700 per month. If you want to show savings in Phoenix, it is 168,000. In Raleigh 2007, and in McAllen 2030.
Okay.
These are the minimum, but there are others which want more or require more.
Right.
More, yeah.
How come it's different from one consulate to the next? Isn't
Yes, I think that it's different because they consider the rate, the exchange rate, according to the day when they do the calculation, I think.
Okay, so they do it on different days and the answer is different.
I think so. Yes.
Or at least that's the best guess we have as to why that is, right?
Yes, and some consulates are easier than others.
Right. So,
sorry.
Go ahead.
No. It's easier in some of them. It's easier to get an appointment than in others. You know that. Yeah,
we had problems getting appointments at some, and we went to another one, and it was instant. So, yeah. But then they asked me, why didn't we go to the other consulate? And I said, well, we got an appointment here, and they were okay with that.
Yes, because some consulates want you to live around the consulate.
Right.
Yes, right.
For example, Miami. If you want to apply in Miami, you need to have an address in Miami.
Okay.
For example, in California too, I think. But in other places, no, you can go. They don't care.
Okay.
Yeah.
We did ours in Omaha, Nebraska, and we lived a couple hours from there, but yeah, they were fine with it.
Not many people live there. They go there,
Right.
No?
Right. No, everybody else that was there were Mexicans dealing with immigration in the United States.
Yes.
We were the only ones applying for immigration to Mexico when we were there. So our application process went really smoothly, and we credit you for your advice and your assistance. And I'm guessing the smoothness of that process is not the case for everyone seeking residency. What types of problems might people run into if they don't know the process or they don't seek out your help? What sort of problems might arise?
Well, first, the main problem is to get an appointment in the consulate. But we don't deal with this because we know how it is, how time demanding it is, and it will be a lot for us if we have to help everybody to get an appointment in the consulate, because you have to open the page of the consulate every day to see when they open the calendar, etc. So it will be terrible, a lot of work. So, the people have to deal with this part. And second, once they come here, if they want to do it by themselves, it seems to be easy, but it's not so easy because, for example, I tell you because of my experience. When I came here, the first time I applied with somebody, and then the second time I said, well, no, it's easy. It will be easy because I can speak Spanish, etc. So, and then I had to return like 5 times to the immigration office and wait like 2-3 hours every time because I always made a mistake because you have to be very, very precise filling in the form. Then you have to know which kind of letter, what kind of letter you have to submit. Now it's a bit easier because you have most of the requirements are online. But even that, it's not so easy because sometimes the letter is not included. For example, for canje, the letter is not included in the municipio is the name. And that is the main problem. I think that to see which are the requirements for each immigration office to, because not all are the same. In Playa del Carmen, they want this kind of paperwork.
Right.
In Mexico City, another. So even if you go to information and they tell you what to do, or you can see it online, it's a challenge, especially if you cannot speak Spanish.
Right. I can't even imagine trying to
Yeah.
get through that system with not knowing any Spanish at all. Oh my gosh. We ha-
Yes, but some people do it, but well, they have time. They need patience to return several times until they do it.
To me, getting the residency, it's kind of a lot of people's, it was my first experience with learning patience in Mexico. Because that you need that for so many things, getting driver's licenses and, and getting your RFC and registering your car and all that.
Yes.
But the first delve into that patience thing is getting your residency. We had somebody there was somebody put a post on social media here and said, I had to be in line for 2 hours getting my residency. And it was brutal. And how do people put up with this? And it's like, I just wanted to say, that's the fastest I've ever heard anybody getting through that, That was really easy. You will definitely learn patience when you move to Mexico with things like
and
that.
Here, for example, in Playa, it's so hot because they make you wait outside.
Right.
And there is a roof which is plastic and crystal clear, and the sun is there all the time. So it's terrible, like a greenhouse.
Yeah.
And people have to wait there. Before, you could wait inside. But
Right.
after COVID, they told everybody to wait outside. So it's very, very, very bad.
Okay. In our cases, we had purchased homes before we moved to Mexico. Does owning a home help at all with residency or make any difference at all?
I couldn't understand. Sorry.
Oh, we owned homes before we
Yes.
got our residency. Does that make a difference in the residency process?
Well, sometimes you can apply through your home, through your property, but the property has to be over $500,000. The property cannot be cheap, let's say.
Okay.
So you can apply through your property, and you can get temporary residency through your property. Or if you show them, together with your finances, if you show them the title deed of a house or a property, it will help, because it's important to have property here for them, that you have property, you have something in Mexico. So it will help with your application.
Okay.
So if you have a temporary residency, is there a certain number of days that you're allowed to leave the country, or that you have to be in country?
No, there are no requirements. Even if you have permanent, there are no requirements.
Okay. So you could get temporary residency. Once you're done, you can spend 300 days. And
many people do that.
Okay.
As soon as they have their residency, they leave. No, then they come back. Maybe it's advisable to return maybe once or twice a year at least.
All right.
But some people, well, can't do it.
Okay. So I'm a permanent resident. I could leave and come back in 10 years and I'm still a permanent resident.
Apparently.
In theory. Not that I'm going to do that. We love it here.
No, of course not.
Well, so many of our friends and neighbors spend only part of their time in Mexico. A lot of them are from Canada. They usually spend 180 days or more in Canada. Is there any advantage for them applying for temporary or permanent, one over the other than the process of having to renew temporary?
And if they have permanent, it's better.
Yeah,
it's much better, because you don't have to think about renewing that anymore. So it will be better. But some people, if they don't get a residency, it will be okay. If they are less than 180 days per year here, maybe they don't need to get residency. But if they own property, it's good to have residency because you can save some income, how do you call it? Income tax when you sell the property.
Okay.
Okay.
So you need to have residency for that.
Okay. So when we got residency, we both got cards, residency cards. How important is that card? What happens if I lose that card? Or, I find that I can use that for identification different places. What happens if I lose that? And I'm a permanent resident, so I don't go through the process again.
Yes, you should, because when you leave the country, you have to show the residency, the card, and when you get in too. So you should go to the immigration office and do a process to get another card.
Okay.
It's called reposición. This is another kind of process for the people who lose their residency. And if you lose the residency, the resident card outside Mexico, it's a big problem.
Oh, I bet.
Because you will have to go to a Mexican consulate and say that you lost your resident card. And they will give you another visa. They will stamp another visa on your passport. And then you have to come to Mexico and do a process, like the first process you did called canje.
Okay.
But to get another resident card. Because some people lose the card and they come into Mexico and show their cell phone with a photo, but it's not good. It's not good. No. They have to go to the Mexican consulate to get another visa and to do the process in Mexico to get another card.
Okay. So you use the word canje, and I know what that is. They wrote that when I first came and I had the visa in my passport. They wrote canje at immigration at the airport. What does that mean?
Well, canje means exchange. Okay. You have to exchange the visa that they gave you in the consulate to the resident card.
Okay.
So you will get the resident card. It's the first process you do to be a resident here, called canje.
Okay.
Or exchange.
Okay, very good.
What tips would you have for someone considering a move to Mexico, and what advice would you have for them?
Well, tips. Well, to be patient.
Right. We all give out that tip all the time.
Yes. And well, to try to learn Spanish if they can. If they want to open a bank account here, it will be good for you, for them too. I don't know which others.
So what are the advantages of having a Mexican bank account? I don't have one because I've just never had a reason to get one yet.
For example, my husband doesn't have one.
Okay.
And he always takes out money from ATMs.
Yeah.
Without any problem. No, some people want to do it maybe to pay, if they have to pay the fee, for example, the maintenance fee of their condos, or they have to pay somebody. But if you don't have one, there is no problem. There is no problem at all.
Yeah, we've never run into a problem, and people always look at me funny and say, "You don't have a Mexican bank account?" And I say, "No, I haven't had a reason to have one."
No.
You can order stuff off Mercado Libre.
Right, Mercado Libre, you don't need.
Mercado Libre. Or for example, if you lose, for example, your your credit card or debit card from US, you can have one from here to use meanwhile.
Right, that's a good point.
Advantage.
Or if your US one expires or something and you're not paying attention.
And it takes some time to receive it here. Or maybe sometimes it's difficult to receive things here, to receive mail here, because maybe they don't find your house, or I don't know, different problems. So it takes quite a long time to receive a credit or debit card.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
So we had one of our listeners ask this question, and it's basically about permanent or temporary residents. Does getting your residency entitle you to any government benefits like the INAPAM card? Can you get that
Well,
as
now the INAPAM card is not issued anymore to foreigners.
Okay,
But I don't know if it's something temporary or forever.
okay,
We don't know. No,
okay.
but it's important, for example, to get some benefits. For
Mhm.
example, in the ADO bus or any bus around Mexico, if you show that you have your residency, they can do a discount. Or if you go to Xcaret or to the different parks, you can get 2 by 1. Or if you go to the archaeological sites too, or in the ferry to go to
Right.
Cozumel. I don't know if to go to Isla Mujeres too, I think.
Yes, we went to Isla Mujeres, and yeah,
But they
we got a
didn't.
discount with our
Yes,
resident card. I forgot about that.
If you have INAPAM, the discount is bigger.
Right, right.
Yeah, but if you have the resident card, it's good too. Or in some restaurants, you show that you are a local and they do a 10%. In some pharmacies, they do 5%. For example, in Sam's or in Walmart, I think, 5%.
Okay.
And well, no. Or well, if you want to sell your property,
Oh,
yes, you will have a good benefit.
right. So if someone were listening to this or watching this and they want to get a hold of you and take advantage of your services, at what point in the process should they do that, and how should they do that?
Well, if they have the visa from the consulate outside of Mexico, it's better because we can start talking about what to do here and planning.
Right.
And if they can call me when they have already plans for their trip, it's better so we can plan the dates to meet, etc. And or if not, well, we can meet. Well, they can contact me before when they are thinking about getting residency. Well, I can give them tips about how to make because we write a blog. We have a blog in our website, and there we have different articles. So I can show them one of the articles about how to do this, how to do that, how to register to get an appointment in a consulate, and give them some tips for them to start the process there.
Plus, then they are on your radar, so you know they're coming, and you're kind of prepared to offer your services.
We prepare the trips of the people as soon as they know they have the flights to come. Yes, we prepare this. The only detail now, for example, is if people want to renew or to get permanent residency after having temporary residency, and they want to renew when they are out of Mexico, we will need the original passport and the original resident card to get an appointment in Mexico, because before we could do it with photocopies, and now we will need the original. So it's not so easy now to get appointments if the people are not in Mexico.
Right. They're in the United States along with their passport and their card. Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You don't want to ship that off.
So is there anything else that you want to add that's important for people to know about getting residency?
Oh, I think we talked about everything.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
Yeah.
And we'll put a link to your blog, or we'll put an address to your blog on the podcast.
Okay, thank you.
One of the things that we do is a game that we play called Que Padre and Que Malo. And it describes what we love most about living life in Riviera Maya is Que Padre. Que Malo is things that maybe we're not adjusted to yet and having a harder time adapting to. Give us one thing you would describe as Que Padre and one Que Malo.
Well, Key Madre, I think it is all the landscape, no, the beaches, all the cenotes, the nature.
Right.
Yeah. And also the peace that you live here, that you are not stressed in general. Although, well, it's getting a bit more, with more cars, more people now, but it's better than living in a city to live
Yes.
here. Well, and Key Malo, I think that the heat.
Just lately, we're recording this in it's middle of May, and man, it's gotten hot here lately.
Yes, but this year it was not so soon, let's say, because I
Yeah.
was waiting for March to be hot,
Yeah.
and March and April were good.
Yeah.
Yes, but now it's starting. So, well, that is the bad part, but if you can relax, go to the pool and go to the
Yep.
beach, it's fine.
Yep. We have plenty of water, and we have the Caribbean Sea and all of that.
We
so.
can't complain.
No.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us, Adriana Vela from Immigration to Mexico. Thank you so much for sharing your insight into the immigration process.
Thank you very much, you too, for inviting me. Great podcast.
All right. Thank you.
See you later.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
In each episode of Expats Like Us, we're going to teach you a new Mexican slang word. This is something you may not find in your phrasebook or your online Spanish class or your Spanish app or wherever you're learning your Spanish. Instead, this is a term used primarily by Mexican Spanish speakers. Today's word is
Way.
way. Spell that.
G-U-E-Y.
G-U-E-Y. I see that around here. There's a store called I Way.
Yes.
What does that mean?
It's commonly used for friends, similar to dude. Hey, dude. Hey, way. Órale, way.
Okay. It means dude. Hey, dude.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much, Erica Kowalski from Mi Vida Margarita. We'd love to hear your thoughts on today's topic. Just look up Expats Like Us on Facebook or send us an email at expatslikeus@gmail.com. You can also see the video version of today's discussion and all of our discussions on our YouTube page. Follow, like, subscribe, and leave us a review. Thank you to today's guest, Adriana Vela. Thanks also to my co-host, Chris Kowalski, and co-producers, Erica Kowalski and Sherry Bussey. Most of all, thank you for tuning in to Expats Like Us, and thank you for interacting with us on social media. Next time, we'll bring you more first-hand information about your international move. Until then, remember, our homes are not defined by geography or one location, but by memories, events, people, and places that span the globe.